Okay, for my next Let's Play, I have the pleasure of playing through The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Originally released on Super Nintendo, recently, as of today, released on Nintendo Wii U's Virtual Console. I have to say this is one I've been waiting for since the day the Wii U came out. It is my favorite Legend of Zelda game, possibly my favorite game of all time. I played the original two Legend of Zelda games before this one, but this is the one, when I got this game, that really hooked me on the series, and I haven't left it since. I've played this game on each of its various releases over the years, and I love this game. So I am very happy to get to play it one more time, especially since the sequel was recently released for Nintendo 3DS. It is one of the best Legend of Zelda games released in recent years, and honestly, if you haven't gotten to play it yet, go out and pick it up. I'd even say get a 3DS. It is one of the best uses of 3D that I've seen on the 3DS, and one of the best Zelda games recently. So I had a lot of fun with it. It's not easy. It really relates back to the old Zelda games where they didn't hold your hand all the way through. I had some difficulty at times. I didn't find everything. I didn't use a walkthrough, so there are still heart pieces out there for me to find, still upgrades for me to find, and I'm looking forward to playing it again. But for now, I'll be playing through A Link to the Past and recording for this Let's Play. So it's time to name our player, and I always, whenever I start a new game, name him Link. The only time I would choose something different would be in the case where I was playing the original Legend of Zelda and I named my character Zelda to get the second quest. So, Link's uncle leaves the house with sword and shield in hand, so the first thing Link does is grab his lantern out of the treasure chest and immediately disobey his uncle by leaving the house. So, you can head south, you can head west, you can head east, but Hyrule guards will block the way. They'll tell you to head home, the storm is bad, and basically you won't get anywhere at all if you're looking for your uncle. If you want to help Zelda, the girl who telepathically communicated with you, you need to head to the sewers in this line underneath the castle. If you pull up that bush, you'll find a secret entrance here. And also find your uncle. Now this is an interesting line here. Link, you can do it. Save the princess. Zelda is your... and ellipses. Over the years, it's been debated what Link's uncle was actually trying to tell him here. The Japanese translation is actually very interesting. It sheds a little bit of light on the relationship between the two of them. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it is worth looking up, just to get a better glimpse of what the original meaning of that phrase may have been. Now the green soldiers with the daggers pretty much follow a set path and don't react to Link. The ones with the swords will chase you. So I picked up some magic containers, and you can see in the top left corner of the screen that I filled my magic gauge. The lantern uses magic to either burn things or light torches. Here you can see the enemy with the sword, who obviously spotted me and decided to pursue. So we'll enter the castle. And Zelda is being held captive in her own castle. So whenever you're searching for someone who's being held captive, the first place you would look is the castle dungeon. So we will go straight there. I have to say, the Wii U is emulating this game very well, and that's why I like playing Virtual Console titles, is because they really put the time and effort into making the game run as it did on the original hardware. Honestly, you can't even tell that I'm not playing it on the Super Nintendo. It runs so well. So this guard will stand here at the edge, not expecting to fall down a giant hole. You can also take pots and hit them hard enough to knock them down these holes. So the path ahead is blocked by a locked door, so we need to find the key. It's being held by this soldier right here. And there's also a boomerang. I'm not going to bother with the boomerang for now. The lantern will come in handy in the passageway, the sewers that we'll be heading to next. I do like the boomerang, though. It is one of my go-to equipped items there. Now the guard holding Zelda has a ball and chain which he'll reach out and hit you. One of the easiest ways is to pick up a pot and throw it at him, but it's not really necessary. It's predictable enough. You get a hit, you back up, you get a hit, you back up. He'll drop the big key, which will allow you to open Zelda's cell. So the cell is open, and if you want, you can just grab the money and head out, but that isn't what Link will do. So we find out that the wizard Agahnim is the one behind the soldiers behaving the way they are and the king's disappearance. He's the one that imprisoned Zelda. So we need to escape the castle dungeon. The easiest way is to simply take this passageway here. You can bypass all of the soldiers that we fought previously, the ones that have come back in their place, and you can hop down behind this guy with just enough time to knock him over the ledge. That never gets old. Now you can head back the way we came, or you can continue along and see the rest of the castle. There isn't much to see. It's pretty much just soldiers and a few pots, but if you want, you can go ahead and explore. The passageway outside is pretty much useless. There isn't any reason why you need to follow this door and go outside. So, on the second floor, that is. So we'll continue to the throne room. There's a secret passage that leads to the sanctuary, where we can meet an old man who will help us. So the guards are too too slow. We can push this shelf and find a hidden passageway behind it. Which that's convenient enough. Into the sewer. There are rats. And if you use the torch, you can see where you're going. And where the rats are. It isn't necessary to take out all of the rats in the sewer, but it will give you rupees and sometimes items. So if you can, go ahead and do it. Now down here, you'll see snakes, and I believe in the original Legend of Zelda these snakes were called ropes. I'm not sure if that's what they are called in this version, but they act and behave in the same way that they did in the original, so I'll be calling them ropes until further notice. So, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. These bats are called keys. So they will stay stationary in one spot until you get close enough, which they'll reach out and try to attack you. So the key is in that treasure chest to the door up here. So here, we can light the torch, take out a bunch of rats in here. And we'll continue westbound. Now be careful when you're opening these pots, because there are rats running around, and when you open the pots you are vulnerable to them hitting you. So be very careful with doing that. Head through the north door. And we'll light the torch. That rat drops a key. You'll need that key further in this room. So in this time, you did have to clear out all of the enemies in order to proceed, because one of them was holding the key. 2 keys. Now this room, you may want to return to later in the game. You can tell, one of the staples of Zelda, I believe starting with this game, is you can use your sword to get a hint at the build consistency of structures. If you just use your sword, hold it out, and tap it against a wall, listen. It's got a real high-pitched sound. If you hold it against a hollowed out door, like something that you can destroy a passageway, you will hear a different sound. Kind of tink. In this case, this round circle here can be broken through by running into it at a high speed using the Pegasus shoes. So it's worth coming back later in the game if you need some rupees. I believe behind that door there are 300 rupees in treasure chests. So Zelda instructs you to pull the switch over there, which if you head for the left switch, she won't say a thing. If you head for the right switch, she'll tell you how to open the switch. So pull the lever by holding A. If you pull this lever, you will be ambushed. So a number of snakes will drop in on you. There really isn't any benefit to taking out the snakes, just hearts to make up for the ones you lose. And I guess they can drop rupees, so if you feel like making a little bit of extra rupees, you can go ahead and do that. But we have made it safely to the sanctuary, and delivered Princess Zelda safely to the old man. here you find out that the maidens who have been disappearing, Zelda is related to them in some way. Not family related, but she holds a similar fate as they do. So we are tasked with finding the village elder who lives in Kakariko Village. In the treasure chest, we find our first heart container, which increases our number of hearts to 4. Princess Zelda is a descendant of one of the 7 wise men who sealed a great evil away. That the wizard Agahnim was indicating that she was the last one he needed to break the seal. So it is imperative that we keep her safe. Now, if we head west from here, we'll reach Kakariko Village. I'm going to take a slight detour and head through the Lost Woods, which you can also reach by heading west, but we'll head through the north entrance for now. Here we see the lumberjacks, if you talk to them. They mention that there's a mysterious fog over the forest, somewhat odd. And you can see it here. Head through the logs and you will find a mushroom. The mushroom smells like sweet, rotten fruit, so you can give it to someone who will appreciate the smell of sweet, rotten fruit. 60% of the time, it works every time. Anyway, through those bushes right there is the back entrance to Thieves' Hideout here in the Lost Woods. It'll drop you down on that ledge where you can find your first piece of heart. If in the Zelda games, if you collect 4 pieces of heart, you earn 1 more heart container. So this thief will let you know that, just a rumor that one of their ex-members is staying at the entrance to the desert. So that's just a little piece of information that'll come in handy later in the game. With that, that's pretty much all we have to see in the Lost Woods at this point in time. We haven't proven ourselves worthy of progressing further into the woods. In this building is the fortune teller, who will give you very vague hints about where to go in the game, what you need to do next for a moderate fee. Generally, I find the advice is fairly worthless. So we've reached Kakariko Village, and it didn't take long for the castle guard to post signs about a criminal who kidnapped Princess Zelda, and instructs the townspeople to call a soldier if you see this weirdo with the strange hat and the pointy nose. It's a very crudely drawn image of Link, and you can see that these signs are everywhere. So, the first thing I want to do is drop down this ledge into the well. In the well, you can find a new item, bombs. So you can drop them on the ground, place them, pick them up, throw them. Very useful items. Here you can see a slightly discolored part of the cave wall. If you drop a bomb there, it will explode and reveal a hidden passageway. Behind this passageway, you will find heart piece number 2, halfway to a new heart container. Grab the rest of the treasure chests and drop down off the ledge, and we'll exit the well. let's head east and we will find a building here, and the gentleman inside will let you know that this is where a gang of thieves used to hang out, and their leader's name was Blind. He hated bright light a lot. So I guess it's a somewhat fitting name related to the way his notable feature there. So, it's just something that comes in handy to know later in the game. Small puzzle here. You can move the blocks and you can access all of the treasure chests at once. If you look at the north wall of this room, you can see a slight crack in the wall. So if you drop a bomb there, it'll expose a small hallway. This was an ex-thieves hideout, or it used to be a hideout for thieves, to speak more clearly. So their big treasure was 30 rupees hidden in pots, and, thankfully, a piece of heart. That makes 3. We need to find 1 more in order to complete our heart container. So we'll head into this next house over here. Where we'll meet an old woman. Okay, so we find out that the village elder has left for fear of being collected by the wizard Agahnim, who is making descendants of the original 7 wise men disappear. So he is in hiding. Here we have a street vendor who wants to sell us one of his unique Hold Anything bottles. It'll make our life complete, and for 100 rupees, we can have one of our own. So, in order to do him a favor, we'll go ahead and hold it up over our head to show the whole world. Because it's good for business. And we have our first magic bottle, so we can store a number of different items in the magic bottle. Let's head through town. There are a few houses here, and if you speak to this nice lady here on the street, she recognizes us from the wanted poster. Calls soldiers. Anyone, come quickly. So a green soldier with a spear comes to retrieve us and is easily stopped. But you find out that not everyone knows Link and trusts him. They trust the castle soldiers. So this man here at the inn will tell you how the Zoras have a hidden treasure that can turn people into fish. It may be a little bit of an exaggeration, but it may be worth checking out later in the game. In the next house you'll find a sick boy. He's too sick to leave bed, but he's nice enough to let us borrow his bug catching net. So everyone in town is very superstitious, and possibly deservedly so, about Death Mountain. So one of the things about this game is you can tell Link is left-handed, but in some shots it doesn't exactly look like he is left-handed. In this one, you can see he looks very right-handed, and the justification there is that Link doesn't want to turn his back on Death Mountain. You can see that he has his shield pointed toward the mountain to protect himself from the evil. But in all other aspects, Link is a left-handed swordsman. This man is very quick. He'll run away from you, and you can't catch him yet. He also can teleport behind you somehow. So this woman trusts us. She knows us. She knows that maybe something is up with what the castle guard is saying about Link. Now this building right here, it doesn't look particularly suspicious, and if you do the sword test, it won't sound like you can actually bust through this wall, but if you experiment enough in this game, you will find out that you can bust through that wall. Inside are just a few things, a couple of rats, but inside the pots are a few supplies that may come in handy. Not very many rupees, but some bombs and arrows. So those can be very useful. If you talk to this young boy right here, it turns out that he is the village elder's grandson, and he knows you, he trusts you, he'll let you know where the village elder is hiding. So if you check your map, you can tell that directly east of here, in a small building near the Eastern Palace, is where the village elder, his name is Hazrullah, is hiding. So we'll have to pay him a visit next. In this building is a small shop. They sell red potion, which will restore your hearts, single hearts, and also bombs. For now, we don't need to buy any bombs. We can get along without them, so I will continue. This building right here is the bar, and it's kind of nice that they kept this along as a kind of a running theme in Legend of Zelda. If you talk to this man, you can see that his son used to like to play the flute, but he left for he left to find the Triforce, and he never came back. So it's sad that this man is in the bar wishing he had his son. You can't tell from the front entrance, but if you head up toward the bar, you can see a hidden treasure chest. There is a back door to the bar, and if you walk up to it and open the treasure chest, you will find a second magic bottle. Now, the last thing I want to check out in town at the moment is just a little bit to the east. This is the blacksmith's house. There are two dwarf blacksmiths, and if you speak to them, he'll let you know that one of his partner is gone, and he would gladly temper your sword to make it stronger, but he isn't able to do it by himself. So if we can somehow find his partner and bring him back, we can upgrade our sword to make it much stronger. Just south of the main part of the village is the Kakariko Library. If we check it out, we'll find a very conspicuous green book stacked up on top of the bookshelves, but try as we might, there's no way to grab that book. So I guess we'll just have to leave it be. South of here is a small house inhabited by two brothers, and they seem to be rather angry at each other, so they blocked off the door, so they can't talk to each other. But one of Link's roles in this game is family counselor, so we'll blow open the door, like any sane person would, setting a bomb in a house, and we'll go talk to the brother. So he wants to know if the older brother has forgiven him yet. So we'll talk, and he'll think maybe it's not so much of a good idea to just block up the house and lock his brother out here. Down here you'll find one of the first mini-games in The Legend of Zelda. Often you can find new treasures, and more often than not they usually have a piece of heart if you meet a certain goal. In this one, this is called the 15-second game. If you can make it to the goal within 15 seconds, you win a piece of heart. So once she says go, you have to make it through the maze, and the quickest way is the path I just took. And you talk to this boy, and I made it here in 9 seconds. So as long as you're under 15 seconds, you earn this piece of heart. So that's the 4th one, and we increased the heart level to 5 hearts. So that'll come in handy. So just east of this house is another small house, and it turns out that this one houses another game. You can pay 20 rupees, and you can keep the contents of one chest. So it could be the money you paid, it could be much less, it could be much more. So there really isn't any hidden treasure in this one, it's just rupees that you're gambling. I'm just going to go ahead and pass on that. Head back out to Hyrule Field, and we can see that here is the Forest Grotto blocked off by bushes. And I love the way that A Link Between Worlds went back and paid homage to this game. You can even just see the same formation of bushes just in that game whenever you're heading into the Forest Grotto. Here on the ground you can see some kind of a bomb. If you step over it, it'll blow up and hurt you. So I don't want to call it a landmine, but that's pretty much what it is. So into the Forest Grotto we see a small gathering of animals, and they're all gathered around this young boy playing the flute, and honestly, it looks like the old man's son. So if we head closer to listen more, the animals will disappear, and so does the young boy. So that's strange. So if we continue east from here, we have reached Link's house. This is one of the anchors in the game. Whenever you save and quit, you can choose to restart the game from here. You can also choose to restart from the Sanctuary, and I want to say that there is another place that you can start from here in Hyrule Field, somewhere in Hyrule. I can't remember if there is a third, and if so, where it is. For now, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this Let's Play. We managed to pick up 4 pieces of heart, the boomerang, the bombs, the mushroom, the bug-catching net, the lamp, and 2 empty bottles. So thanks for watching, folks, and I hope you tune in for the next episode.